Hey everybody, we've got something a little different going on today. We're going to run up here to the shop and pick up some Hemi parts, and then we're going to run those up to Brewer's Performance. I think everybody knows Dan Brewer. Him and his dad Wayne, they're the ones that do all the 4-speed stuff that everybody buys for their Mopar. And today we're going to go up and talk to him and deliver him some Hemi stuff and check out some stuff that he's got and see what's going on up there. I've never been to his place, and I've always wanted to go there, and kind of excited to see about how his operation is. So, but I'll bring you along when we get to the shop here, and we'll pick up the Hemi stuff, and then we'll head up to the Brewers. Well, here's what we come to get. We're gonna take him these cross members, possibly this Hemi intake, this Hemi setup. Take it to tunnel ram, and I think there's a 4-speed over there we got to get. So, but we got to get this loaded up and get on the road. So we're back here in just. All right. Well, we got everything loaded up. We got that heavy ass 4-speed in here. We're getting ready to head that way. So we'll be at Brewers here shortly. Just hang on. Well, we made it up here to Brewer's Performance, and he's going to give us a nickel tour of his shop here and kind of see his operation. I've never been here and always wanted to come. And so this is Dan Brewer, and he's going to kind of show us around here and see what he's got here.
This is kind of our main opening. This is where parts kind of come through. You taking transmissions apart, things of that sort. Welders and fabrication things. We do a lot of stuff in house. You farm out some stuff, but we do a lot of it in house. So short on help at the moment. So if anybody looking for some more deadline getting ready, we'd probably use it.
Oh, well, I'll have to get an application when I leave.
Stuff is coming in.
Jeez.
Z-bars and stuff come back from plate the other week. Some of that stuff done. Parts and various processing. We got, cleaned up.
Oh my God. Jeez.
Stuff that's organized. All the main cases and stuff that are up on the top rows are 68 to 71 vintage stuff that's cataloged and inventoried, and we do have that stuff on our website for the guys looking for their original switching transmissions. It's not very often that it happens, but lightning does strike.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, we have. In the last few years, I know at least 5 or 6 units that we've been able to reunite with cars.
That's cool.
One as prominent as a 71 Hemi Cuda hardtop. So
wow.
That guy was tickled to death. So.
I bet, man.
Cross members and stuff that are been cleaned up. Some of that stuff needs repair. So, a lot of stuff sitting around. So, we do have to walk back through here. A lot of these trains that we've parted out over the years. Some of it's just cores that are already apart, waiting to
that is crazy.
Process.
You know, I remember years ago before I knew you. I remember you and your dad always buying up cores and stuff at the swap meets, and
this didn't happen overnight.
No, that was a long time ago. I mean, it was.
I haven't showed you the worst stuff.
Oh, wow.
So we have.
This is mind-boggling.
Pretty good collection of cores.
Yep.
Back here, stood up here. I still don't have a lot of these inventoried as far as the VIN numbers and such. When I get a time where somebody figures out a day stretcher, I'll come back here and do that. But there's 3 rows on this side, 3 rows on that side, and a lot of this stuff will go down through here. You know, I hate to think how many cars we parted out since I was a kid. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of cars, and a lot of this stuff is kind of leftovers from years of doing that, and Most of the stuff that's in the buildings, if it's good stuff, it's stick related. We really zeroed in on that probably
Jeez.
25, 30 years ago. We just that's kind of
Yep.
been our specialty, and that's what we do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know every time I'm watching Graveyard Cars, every time he's talking about a 4-speed, he gets them from you. And
yeah, I think there's 7 or 8 units up front right now from him, and
huh.
trying to get.
Wow.
Been short on help. My primary shop help is had some health issues to get through, and well, I'm not sure what's going to happen with that just yet, but it's been kind of a struggle as of late.
Wow.
Got some junk out back, nothing, but even like there's more cases back here that are inventory. Most of these are all small bearing stuff, but you can see that if they're tagged and stamped, that means I've got it recorded, and I've also got pictures of the van. That way, if I need to go find it, and then we've got storage trailers out back here that have got tags with all those specific bins in there, so I can, if I need to find it, I can. It takes some time even at that, but we can dig them out. In fact, I think that's why this bin is in here. Last fall, a guy got a hold of me from Kentucky that we had one out of, I think it was a 69 Super B, just 383 car, but he was tickled pink to get his transmission back. So the odds nowadays are pretty rare, I'll be quite honest. So I can walk out back here. It's like we got a mouse. You have some junk out back.
Oh, you got a, oh man.
My own little graveyard. As a kid, I spent countless hours at junkyards with my father, and
I forgot about.
I always loved going to the junkyard because you never knew how much change you would find. And I'd go up there. Of course, I knew them guys, and I'd dig that stuff out.
Yeah.
As long as you were up front with a guy that owned the yard, he'd say, "Take it with you."
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I can remember helping Dad cut dash pads out of E-bodies, helping cut the windows out with piano wire and a couple pliers.
Yeah, E-body windows suck trying to get out.
They're glued in.
Yeah.
Just some old junk out here from early B-bodies.
You still got the camera wagon.
Still got the camera wagon over there. We have peeled a few pieces off of it here and there that live on somewhere, but
man,
I couldn't.
No.
I wish we'd have had some before we moved here. I wish we'd have had some more room to keep cars. But just when we were at our other shop, we were in town and didn't want to cause problems, so we parted them out best we could and sent them down the road.
So these cars here, just parts and pieces.
Some parts of it. Since Dad and I both have quite a few early B bodies, that's why you see those cars. They're nothing special, but when you need that screw or that bolt or that clip,
exactly,
it's a whole lot easier to come out here and pop it off that car than it is to dig through a 5-gallon bucket full of junk.
Yep.
Nothing special. Just
Is that Charger for sale?
Yeah, it could be bought. It's 383 4-speed car, 67. It's actually got a 70 motor in it. It does. I mean, I haven't started it since last fall, but it does. It would yard drive.
Yeah.
I do not have to.
Yeah. My buddy Jeff Grooms, he works at this restoration shop in Washington Courthouse, and they're redoing a 66 or 7. And he was telling me if they ever found any parts or cars or something, let him know. But
it would make a fantastic car.
Yeah.
It's fairly rough, but it's also fairly complete.
Yeah.
So I did have it running last fall. We tinkered with it, put the jerry can up to it, and let it go in.
I like this body style myself. I know a lot of people don't, but
they're one of them cars. People seem to have a love or hate relationship with them.
I like them.
If you love it, you love it. If you hate it, you hate it.
I remember my dad had one when I was a kid, and rolling around in that back window, just looking out that back lane back here. Well, those things.
We've never had a whole bunch of these. over the years. Just never sought after them. But this one's a little more rare. It does. It's 67 car. It does have the headrest on the seats.
That stuff there is tough to find.
Oh, I'm sure.
It is tough.
It is,
Oh hell,
it is a stick car.
man.
Flintstone Flyer.
Yeah.
Been not only is it rusty, it's been kind of beat to death too.
I mean, it's a good complete car though. I mean, yeah.
I think the biggest challenge with redoing one of them cars is simply parts availability, especially when it comes to sheet metal.
Yeah.
It's not a lot available.
That, and if you had to redo that dash cluster, that luminescent stuff is that is crazy.
It's neat. They've grown on me some over the years. A friend of mine in Greenville had a Hemi car here a few years ago that actually came out of the Dakin family.
Oh.
It was a red one. Car hadn't been restored; it had been repainted, but that car, and it was a run and driving car. That car run and drove so good. It never been apart. You know, it just been repainted. And it drove like it was still 1970.
Wow. Yeah, that may be interesting. Yes. Huh.
Creation there. I've got some sea containers and build a shop, kind of
Oh hell.
a storage facility.
Huh.
You know what happens when somebody gives you free trusses? You spend a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
So they weren't really free.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't pass it.
Damn.
Some
Damn, is that an RT, that convertible?
No,
It's a Cornet.
it's 383 car, automatic. Rusty, been stuffed in the back.
Yeah.
Some of the convertibles here. You remember Jason from Gunslinger?
Yep.
When we bought him out, some of those cars and stuff that actually came from him up from Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of we bought him out lock, stock, and barrel.
Okay. Yeah, these cars here are pretty hot. I mean,
A couple of times I've tried to sell some of the, because like the 68s are not really something I'm into.
yeah.
And I advertise them as parts cars, and everybody's like, "Oh, you should fix that. Get a hold of Graveyard." And finally take the ad down because I'm just tired of ignorance.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I'd say Facebook's not as bad as what Craigslist used to be, but it's still, there's a lot of people just like, what are you?
There's so many people that just apparently have nothing better
Yeah,
to do
exactly.
to waste my time.
Yeah.
Time's pretty valuable. So
Yes. Yeah. But
yeah, I moved a bunch of these cars in. I cut some trees down last fall, and I never got around to it. So
yeah.
there they be. You walk back inside if you want.
Yeah.
Take you up through the front.
Right. You can. Well, you got another convertible.
I think there's still three up back here. There's a 68 satellite over there.
Oh yeah.
It's another Cornet 68 500.
Wow,
That one's 318 car.
That one don't look too bad, really.
It depends.
Well,
Depends on what you consider.
I was gonna say, they don't look bad to me. I'm used to the.
That's probably the rarest car back here. Actually it was a big block.
Oh.
383 Formula S 67. That car was in a flood and it laid in the mud. When we drug the car out of there, the front clip come off of it. So it was pretty. Wow. Of course, it doesn't have the original brand or nothing in it anymore. But I kept that around for years. We was going to build another tube chassis car, build a 67 fastback. We'd build it like 68. And just never got around to it. But you can still see remnants of the torque boxes on the 383 car. You can see it up
Oh
there.
yeah.
It was an automatic Formula S 67.
Wow.
Not much love.
Man. I like the 68.9s, but I like the 69s, but that's Cornet and Super B is like my favorite. One of my favoriteest ones.
These things they've just been outside
Yeah.
too long.
There's still a lot of good.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that's just it. There's a lot of that little trinkety
yeah.
stuff. if a guy's looking for it and that stuff, you don't run up to your local junkyard
No.
anymore and just pop that off a car.
No, that would, if he's looking for that or that, you'd, oh, man. That, I wasn't there that day that happened, but that had to have been a horrendous ride if that happened at the big end.
If you look down the roof line of the car, the back end of this car where it spun around and hit here, it shoved the whole back of the car over probably 6 inches.
Wow.
And that's probably the biggest reason that they didn't try to fix it. It jacked.
Yeah.
If it had just bumped it on that corner, you probably could have fixed it. But
Yeah.
that car's pretty tweaked.
Yeah. That's a shame. That's what
lot of memories watching that car run years ago.
I was gonna say. I watched that car a bunch before I knew Greg, and then met him years later, and then him and Bob had that car or whatever. But
I think it was Bob that called me one day and told me he was going to get rid of it. And said if you want it, I'd hate to see it get scrapped, so why don't you just come down and pick it up so I don't have to do that. That's what you want me to do. I'll come down and pick it up. So pretty much just as you see it.
yeah, even though it's wrecked, it would be hard to scrap that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really no good for nothing, but it is just because it's.
I mean, I had a guy. I think it was the passenger side door glass. The guy had a use for it because it fits 4-door too. And there again, you just don't run up to your local salvage yard and pick up a door glass for that anymore. You got to call somebody like Stevens or Wildcat or.
Well, my buddy JR, it's got the 66 or 7. I don't even remember what it is, but the one that Greg had that he got off of me, that Greg Permanent, he's got. Well, we was at Kill Care one day, pulled it up on the trailer, shut the door, and the door glass just busted because there wasn't no fuzzies in there, and the glass just hit the metal.
Just right.
Just
You
blowed
could stand there all day and
like,
with a hammer and never.
yeah, no. He just shut it. I didn't slam it, just shut it, and it boom. I was like,
Something touched it just right. The edge of that tempered
Yep.
glass is.
I was like, no.
We used to haul stuff up to the salvage, and they'd try to run the forks through the glass, and sometimes they'd have to push a car off the trailer. And all you had to do was roll it down, take a socket, and tuck the side.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I like a 63 too. I like the Plymouth. 63 Plymouth.
My dad's the 63 Plymouth guy. He's got 3 of them in his garage at home right now. It's about all he's got left. He's got 2 Max Wedge cars and a 63 Fury convertible that's mostly original paint. Black, white interior, white top, pretty sharp car.
Oh, wow.
He's had that for a good many years.
Huh. That's crazy. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Big long text. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. So do you sell any parts like online besides your website? I mean, do you do any kind of selling as far as parts or just your 4-speed stuff on your website?
Mostly 4-speed stuff. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff here that I get guys that know we have it call, but it's not been our focus, so it's around. Wish it's just a time issue.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Day-to-day business stuff keeps us so busy that it's hard to find the time to mess with the rest of it.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. I mean, the business you guys got going on to try to be doing something else besides the main business, it'd be hard.
And from time to time, I'll load the trailer up and take a load of stuff to nationals or whatever, but it's so tedious and time consuming.
Yes.
It's a lot of work. And
yeah. I'm kind of getting out of the swap meet thing myself. I love doing it, but it's just, I don't really have like the good stuff to take. I just got a bunch of junk stuff. I mean, it sells good, but it's just a lot of work just to.
So you kind of pick your work,
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. That's the thing, you go back into the 80s and even up through, I'd say, the late 90s. If you needed rare, hard to find stuff, that's what you had to do.
Yeah.
You had to beat the bush. You had to go to swap meets. You had to go to shows.
Yep.
Or even go to them places to make your connections.
Yes.
Talk to a guy that's got 68 Barracuda parts if that's what you need. And
yep.
but now with the advancement of the internet and all that stuff, it's just it's changed that
Yeah, it's
dynamic.
yes.
And you could you drag this stuff around for years, and
Yep.
it can be something that the guy wants, needs, but if that guy isn't there today,
Yeah.
it
Or
doesn't
he
matter
don't,
what the price
or if
is.
he don't find you or didn't see you, or it's just
So,
like,
and that's why we got out of, we pretty much quit taking the 4-speed stuff to the shows. It's probably been 7, 8 years ago, something like that. It just got so time consuming. The sales are always good at the shows,
yeah,
but it's all the time getting ready.
it's a lot of work.
When you get home, and at the end of the day, I can, a good weekend at Carlisle, I can do that in a week here, maybe less.
Wow.
So
Yeah, well,
you just kind of have to pick.
and it ain't like you got a bunch of light stuff to move around.
And the clientele has changed some over the years. Used to be, I would say, most of the guys that messed with this stuff in the 80s, they could go to a swap meet and dig what they needed out of some guy's tote, knew what it was, knew what it fit. And, for whatever reason, I think a lot more of our customers nowadays are guys nearing retirement. Their kids are through college. They're reliving their youth a little bit. And so they might not necessarily be a car guy, but they had a 69 Roadrunner in high school.
Yep.
And they want another one. So here we go.
Yep.
And that's fine.
That's like any of my buddies. They're like, well, I want to put a 4-speed in this and do this and that. And I was like, well, don't go looking for the stuff. Just call Brewer, because I guarantee you'll buy the wrong stuff. Because I said, I've been through it myself and buying parts and pieces. And he clearly told me what I needed. And so the stuff won't be bound up and this and that.
And what happens, especially with the stick stuff, a lot of that stuff is not identified.
Yeah.
It doesn't have part numbers. You just have to know what you're looking at. And I've been through that. It was always kind of a running joke with Dad and I. We go to a swap meet, and a guy'd come in and ask for, clutch linkage parts for a Super Bee or whatever, and you'd lay it all out, and there it was, and maybe he didn't like the price or whatever. Or guys are on a budget, and I get that. I totally get that.
Yep.
We're all on a budget to some degree.
Yep.
And next thing you know, the guy'd disappear, and a couple hours later, he'd come back with some old greasy, grimy stuff, and I'm like, well, you now have some stuff that you can't use.
Yeah.
What'd you pay for it? Well, I gave $40 for this stuff. Well, that's great if you need it, but that doesn't fit your car.
Exactly. Yep.
And so you end up buying stuff that isn't right, and oftentimes it's easier just to, like I said, I get that everybody's on a budget and everybody's budget's different, but you start buying parts that don't fit what you got.
If this ain't your niche, and
you're not money ahead to do it that way.
No, because I am no expert at whatsoever on this stuff. I mean, I know a little bit of Chrysler stuff, but I don't know anything as far as like you guys do. But like this I don't know this 4-speed stuff. I mean, I know enough to get by, but I don't know the ins and outs of like them rods and
4-speed and A-body and some stuff.
Yeah, just the stuff that everybody should know or knows. But all that, there's a lot of stuff that you don't know that you think you know, but you don't.
And that's just learned. I mean, it comes with time and messing with experience and digging in parts books and figuring out applications.
That's like I was just asking you about that cross member. Is that the same as an automatic and a 4-speed?
Didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, you learn something today. Everybody learns something every day. Even I learn something every day.
Yep.
If you're not paying much attention.
Yeah.
So.
And I love learning new things. I mean, I love that, but just you're just not always around people.
I think that's what I'd struggle with. We talk about potentially next generation working here. How do I get all that information into somebody else's head? It's somebody like, there's some guys that I've grown up in this stuff since I was old enough to walk with my dad, and guys like Frank Mitchell and Ron Adair, and some of them guys that have done this since these cars were new.
Yeah.
And I know not everybody likes those names. Frank and Ron were always good to me.
Yeah.
Frank was one of them guys, if he liked you, he liked you. If he didn't, he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But Frank especially was very good to me. A lot of taught me business stuff. Not just my dad, but Frank's one of them guys. And when somebody like that isn't around anymore, the amount of knowledge, Frank was incredible. Not to get off topic, but you could walk. His knowledge wasn't just muscle cars; it was from the 20s, clear up to the 80s.
Yep.
I'm not joking. You could probably gone up and asked him what's the part number for a '68 GTX right taillight assembly, and he fired off. I mean, he had a way with that stuff, and once some of that stuff's gone, it's gone.
You know, talking about him, you were just talking about him the other day. I bought a whole bunch of literature from an auction, a bunch of Mopar literature and stuff. And in that stack of literature, there was one of his old brochures of his parts and lists and stuff in there from when he was in Columbus and stuff.
Frank Road.
Yeah, I was like, man, that's cool.
My dad still lived in Columbus then. Frank Road there, just south of downtown. And Dad would go down there and buy stuff for his '64 Dodge or whatever he was working on.
I never did get to go. I remember my dad once looking for a hood for he had a 70 Barracuda, and I remember him talking about Mitchell's about going there to get a hood, but I never did ever go there or see the place or whatever. I wish I would have, but at the time I didn't even know what that was. I didn't know.
He had a place in Georgia too, and
yeah.
However, there's rumors of how it happened, but his building up here caught fire and burnt. The building's still there. We go to Columbus frequently. The building's still there, but it wasn't a total loss, but it did ruin a bunch of products. So.
Yeah. I never did get to meet him, but I almost met him one day when him and Gary Collins. Gary was always selling him cars and stuff, and Frank bought a few big C bodies he had off him.
Still around?
No, I didn't even know it, but I seen his boy probably Garrett a few. I don't know, it might have been last year, but I seen him in the store one day, and I asked him about him. He said, "No, he passed away about 3 years ago." So he's been gone for about 3 years now.
I didn't know it'd been a long time since.
Yeah. He was probably the one person that taught me the most because I didn't know anything back when I met him, and this was in '93. I just happened to stumble into his shop there on 68. I lived up the road there, and then just all the stuff. I mean, he knew. I mean, he knew a lot of stuff, and he taught me a lot of stuff.
Probably racing that lime green Barracuda.
Yep, that's when he had that. Yep. And he was really sharp on race stuff. I mean, he was really. I don't know. I mean, he was good on the old stuff too, but the race stuff is he knew. I mean, just rattle off that stuff like nothing. I'm like, dang.
Yep, I'd known Gary for a long time. I didn't know. Like I said, it'd been a long time.
Yeah.
I'd seen her.
Yeah.
I assumed that he probably wasn't around anymore.
Yeah. He was a good guy. I liked Gary.
Yeah. I haven't seen Garrett in years. I knew he got married and started a family.
Yeah. I mean, Gary was the first person I went to a swap meet with. I didn't know about the Nationals or nothing. That's the first, in '93 is the first time I went to the Nationals because of him, because I didn't know. I just didn't know them. My dad, he was into cars and stuff, but we never went to no shows or nothing like that. And then I met Gary, and he said, "You want to go to a swap meet?"
'93 was 33 years ago.
I know. Well, the reason why I know it's '93 because that's when my first son was born, and that's when I met Gary when he was born. That's how I kind of remember that being '93. But that's how long ago. Yeah, it has been that long.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Crazy.
Of
but yeah. Well, this is pretty awesome. Keith said this was a pretty massive layout. He said, yeah. He said, man, you would not believe. I said, I've always wanted to go there, but I ain't never been there.
We can walk through the up front.
Okay.
Probably more day today, so.
Oh, heck.
Just keep going. There's a bunch of E-body pistol grips ready to go to chrome. A lot of people don't know this, but I actually make them for Hearst. They buy what they sell from us.
Really?
So.
Wow.
So we've got these handles they're all stamped. They're cut on the bottom. They're ready to go to chrome. I try not to overwhelm them. There's probably 700 of them there, and I usually send them in batches of.
So Hearst buys them all from you.
Hearst buys the pistol grips from us.
Wow.
And they mark them up, and part of the deal with that is, we pay them a small royalty, and I get to sell their product. And
wow.
They wouldn't even be available if it wasn't for us, because they really don't have no interest in doing it. So. But because they can buy them from us, they keep them in the catalog.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
But up front through this room here, this building had been used for a lot of different things over the years. So That's why there's so many different rooms and little
Yeah.
knickknacks. But a lot of the stuff that's in this room is stuff that's ready to go.
Man.
There's an aisle for clutches and flywheels and, bell housings and tail housings up there on the shelf that are bagged and tagged and cleaned and ready to go for the guys that we try to, if you place an order with us, we try to get it out within 24 hours.
Yeah.
So that's part of why we do it the way we do it. Except for transmission work, that's always been kind of a tough deal.
Yeah.
But walk up through here. There again, there's aisles of leftover stuff from parting cars, and there's knickknacks here and there. There's a 67 RT air cleaner. I don't know why. I like stuff.
Oh hell!
Some Hemi stuff laying on the.
Wow.
Some of that stuff tells stories. That's why I was still hanging there.
Yeah.
A few years ago, you see there's an original Max Wedge oil pan hanging there, the one next to the orange valve covers. A friend turned me on to some cars and parts up in northern Ohio, and this was during COVID, and we went up there and bought, I think, 5 cars and I don't know how many trucks and trailer loads of parts. We hauled stuff out of there for, I think, 3 weekends. And we get home and I start going through that stuff, and it was kind of one of them buy it and take it all kind of deals, and get home and start going through that, and you think this guy had not one car that oil pan could have possibly come off of. So where he got it, I don't know. I mean, we bought, I think there was a 69 Charger, and there was an Aspen RT, and I forget what else was up there that we hauled back. And he had a lot of driveline stuff. We hauled 3 trailers full of motors and driveline parts, and there was a bunch of 4-speed stuff there. That's how we initially got into that guy's place, and it was kind of neat to find. So
wow.
And since we've got a couple real cars,
and you see like that there, I've never actually seen a Max Wedge pan that was, I didn't know, I wouldn't know that was a Max Wedge pan, the way it's shaped in the front and stuff there.
Well, and they don't have any markings on them to speak of. Like, say, there's an A-body big block pan that's got a similar shape. But see, they've got the 893 embossment on them. It's very similar to that, but...
was the 183s the C-body pans? Is that one for... Yeah, but that's the correct one for an A-body?
That's the correct A-body. They reproduce it now, but that one's an original, obviously. But one time, pretty hard to come up with.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff, but...
Wow.
Just odds and ends. Most of the stuff up here is all our little knick-knacky 4-speed stuff that's in the boxes ready to go.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time pulling parts. We do have, I've got a guy that helps me in the evenings when I come back. We do machining and stuff over here. I've got CNC mill and CNC lathe. My buddy Mike Schaefer, he'll probably see this video.
Oh, yeah.
He hooked me up with these machines when they closed their shop a number of years ago. So these machines come out of Schaefer's Machining in Lakeview there a number of years ago. 2015. See, I write dates on everything.
Wow.
That's the only way I can remember. We've been working on making bearing retainers. There's some little knick-knacky 4-speed stuff, the anchor pins for the center spring, and working on make a lot of billet steel bearing retainers. We got a bunch of them here that all the lathe work's done on them.
So you guys make them. Wow, that's awesome looking.
Yeah, start with a puck of steel that weighs like 35 pounds and mill it down to, machine it down to practically nothing, but makes for a strong piece that way.
Wow.
A bunch of them ready to...
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Been pretty fortunate when, like I said, a guy comes in and helps me in the evenings, and he's a perfectionist when it comes to lathe work. So.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, machinists, it's good to know that stuff, or have someone that knows that stuff.
And I know a lot of that stuff. I mean, I can run some of this stuff, not the way he can run it and program it, but I have toolmaker roots, and Bridgeport, lathe, surface grinder. I worked in a tool shop
Hmm.
out of high school, and my grandpa was tool and die maker, and so I followed in his footsteps. And at some point, Dad was getting so busy that he needed some more full time help, and so he conned me into leaving my job.
And here you are.
So, no regrets. I
No.
got to spend an enormous amount of time with my family because I made that decision.
Yep.
And I don't know where I'd have been otherwise, you know.
Yeah. I mean, like out of all the Mopar stuff, you know, throughout my years and stuff, your family is the one that's I've always heard about. I mean, always, you know, always been around all the Mopar stuff. I mean, it's always.
I mean, there's been a lot of guys in the business that have come and gone over the years.
Yeah.
And, you know, my dad, of course, he's been a Mopar guy since he bought his first 64 Dodge, and that was back, I think, the fall of '69 when he went to college.
Wow.
Tinkered on and on, so he was always a car guy. And then when he moved back in the late '70s here, he started tinkering with that stuff. And it, like a lot of things, a hobby kind of rolls into something more.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, he was making more money on the side than he was working his day job. And his dad told him he was nuts. Said, "I can't believe you know." But I tell you, it's a funny story. There's a gentleman that still comes. My grandpa has been dead since '82, fall '82. But there's a gentleman that comes in here and ships parts. He lives in West Melton. That worked with my grandpa at A.O. Smith in Tip City. And he was a young man then.
Yeah.
He said, "I always remember Kenny talking about your dad never amounted to nothing messing with these old Mopars, you know." But he said, I think your dad would be proud of you, you know, talking about my dad.
Yeah.
Dad, I think Grandpa was towards the end. He was sick and didn't hang around too long. But Dad had been somewhere in Dayton, junkyard out on the west side probably, and he bought a Dana out of a '68 Coronet RT. And Dad was driving I think it was probably a '65 Dart or Valiant, and he had that thing stuffed in the trunk, hanging out the back of the trunk. And he rolled in there stopped to see Dad on the way home or whatever. And, "What are you doing with that?" I said, "Oh, I'm going to sell it." And Kenny asked Dad, "Well, what did you give for it?" Dad said, "I think he gives $75 for it. You know, pull it out of the car."
Yeah.
I mean, $75 is a lot more than it was today.
Absolutely.
And Grandpa goes, "What's it worth?" And I think at the time Dad probably told him, $350, you know. Well, back in 1983, if you made $250 a week, you wasn't wealthy, but you was paying your bills.
Yes, yeah.
And so I think Grandpa probably did get to see the light a little bit before he died.
Thank you.
But anyway, so that's kind of how we got our start. It's kind of evolved over the years.
Well, you guys have definitely made an empire out of it. And, I mean, you've helped a lot of people out over the years with this stuff. I mean, without you guys, I mean, you know, there'd be a lot of people with no 4-speeds.
Well,
I mean, or broken ones, and
it's fun. I'd lie if I told you that I enjoy every day at work.
Yeah.
Anything that's a job, it comes with ups and downs, and sometimes you have days that are rough. But generally, I like talking to people. I enjoy helping guys out. They get excited when they get their problems straightened out.
And it's good to talk to you because you know what you're talking about. You can ask you something, and you know
when you've got companies like Jags and Summit and Lane Industries, them places when they refer people, call them and they give them my phone number. That tells you something.
Yeah.
And it's not from a bragging standpoint. When you've done this for as long as we have, you're going to know it as well as anybody.
And it's like graveyard cars. I mean, a lot of people like Mark, don't like Mark. I think he's funny and whatever. And Tony, I love Tony. And I mean, but for them, you know, he's always using your stuff, always talking about your stuff, and just, I mean, top quality stuff. And, you know.
So we worked with Mark off and on over the years.
Yep.
He's, I think a lot of people think his antics on the show are all made up. I'll be honest, on the phone, he's kind of the same way.
I bet he is. I bet he is.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure some of it's for TV production.
Yeah, yeah,
He's a happy-go-lucky
yeah.
kind of guy, and
Yeah. I would love to go out there just one time, just to visit, just to walk that lot, just to look at. I mean, all them cars they got there, that's just mind-boggling.
At one point we had it kind of arranged. I was going to go out there and help him with some stuff and be on the show. And the more I thought about it, it's like, man, I don't.
Oh, you should have. You should have.
I'm the kind of guy that likes to. I'm a little more low key. It might have been at first. I thought it was fun, and I said, Mark, I just think I'm gonna pass.
Well, I like watching Tony on there because he puts him. I like them going back and forth on shit, but
some of that's probably the theatrical.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Tony's another one. I mean, he's pretty much retired now to the game now, but he's a wealth of knowledge, and I consider him a friend. We still chat from here and there. His son and my son have the same birthday, so we always at least talk once a year on it because Tony's son's not around anymore.
Yeah.
Tony's been good to me over the years.
Oh yeah, he's always been excellent to me. Yep, always.
I consider him more than just a coworker.
Yeah. Yes. Me too. Yep. But yeah, I just wanted to, come check out your place and drop you off some parts, and I don't want to hold you up anymore, but
this is my mission control here.
Yeah.
Spend a good bit of. I don't get a lot of hands-on work done on Mondays or Tuesdays around here. We're catching up from the weekend and getting orders packed, making sure the girls up front have got stuff to keep them busy. And
heck yeah.
But anyhow, there's some units waiting for customers to pick up. Wow. Actually, I think most of those 4 are going back to Carlisle this year, and there's more over here.
So are you not setting up at Carlisle or the Nationals?
I'm not setting up. We do it.
Just not, okay.
I mean, I've never given up my spots at Carlisle. I just loan them out to buddies, and we take the camper over and stay on the property. And I'll be honest, that from about 5 to midnight every night, that's when I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just Carlisle's so low key in the evening.
You can walk around there, look at stuff, and just
and just the friends that we've made over the years. We spend a lot of time hanging out with them. And take the grill with us, and
absolutely.
Carlisle does a fantastic job. So.
We're thinking about going this year, just to not to go over and set up, just to go over and just. It's been a couple of years since we've been over there, and I'd like to go just again, just to be able to walk. Times I've been over, I've been stuck in a swap spot and can't really enjoy the show, but I'd like to just go.
It's hard to do both.
Yeah,
and that's one of the bigger reasons that we don't set up there anymore is because, with Dad slowing down and wanting to retire, if you do set up, especially with what we do is so technical, we're not selling T-shirts where you can just stick anybody in the booth and take care of it. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So we spend that time. We load the trailer down with, our pre-sale stuff for those shows is pretty impressive, really. Yeah. I mean, it's almost got to the point where the pre-sales exceed what we would have sold at the show, and it's in a box. Now my wife can handle that. Everything's labeled. Just sign the ticket, and here you go. But we use that time to talk to customers and make connections.
Yep.
And rummage the swap meet. And bring some of that stuff back. That we in some aspects what we provide is a service. There's guys out in Montana that don't have the ability to go to some of these swap meets, and so sure we make a living at it, but that guy, he's happy as a lark. Yeah,
exactly.
To come up with stuff that he doesn't have to take a week's time to go to a show, and anymore the quality of parts of the swap meet isn't very good anyway.
Nope.
There's something you guys ought to take back and sell at your shop there. All these old license plates.
Oh.
A lot of that stuff's pre-war stuff. I mean, 20s and 30s.
Keith's all into that. Yeah, he's a license plate fool. He loves license plates. I do too.
They're not in the greatest of shape. They were not stored real well, but
they're still cool.
They came with some stuff that I bought the other day.
Yeah. Well, this is a pretty cool operation. I knew he said it was pretty laid out. This is pretty awesome.
We were fortunate when we was able to buy that. We've been in this building about this fall will be 14 years.
Hmm.
Just kind of worked out, you know.
Yeah.
It's being out in the country, away from everybody.
Yeah. You wouldn't think. I mean, you wouldn't think you'd need a building this big to do 4 speeds, but I mean, the way you absolutely do.
Part of
the way you
part
do
of it is the fact that the building's kind of chopped up. It's been added onto. This was originally a Chevrolet dealership way back in the day, and they've added, as other people took it over, they added other things to it, and so it's
wow.
It worked out. It's not. It wasn't the ideal building as far as I would have loved it. To just had a building that was 100 by 200.
Yeah.
That was all open, and you could have laid everything out exactly how you wanted it. But beggars can't be choosers. That was in our budget, so that was a big thing.
Yeah.
So, commercial real estate hasn't come down much.
No. No. Wow.
Getting all these ready to go.
Yeah. I know the packing room, like I do my eBay stuff. It's for years I didn't do it like the way I'm doing it now, but it is so much better to have it set up.
Sure.
You know, your boxes, your stuff. I mean, it's just if you're set up right with that, it just makes things just go way easier.
These counters were in the building.
Yeah.
That's where everything's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have a pretty good library here.
Okay. Oh. Oh, wow.
I'm a sucker for old books. The internet's great, but
man,
sometimes it's a lot easier to go get the book out, look it up that way.
That's pretty awesome.
That's most of this stuff is getting into some of the newer things, but the old library up here, I hate to think how many hours have been spent on it.
Oh, man.
That's all the old parts books and things like it. Some things.
Man. Cool. So this is the front when you come in here?
Yeah, that's when people come in. I got some junk laying up here. We get while we do primarily 4-speed stuff, we wheel and deal on a little bit of everything. So
wow. Oh yeah.
These are some of our old display boards that we actually used to hang up at the shows, and rather than dismantle them, I just hung them up here in the entryway. And
you know, I'm glad I just seen that. This here, I think I got one of them listed on my eBay as for like a 5.9 Magnum motor or whatever, a small block. That's definitely not for a small block, or for an automatic.
If it's like that one, no, that's a manual trans one.
I'm pretty sure it's like that, square like that or whatever, but.
Well, you can always get on our website. There's a ton of information on there.
Yeah.
Look stuff up there.
Yeah, because some of the stuff you look up on the internet, some other people's stuff, they're just as wrong as you, like I am, you know.
True.
But I do 90% of the time look at your stuff on your website.
Well, the running joke years ago was I read it in a magazine, so it has to be true.
Yeah.
And then it became, I read it on the internet. Well, just because it's somebody published that information doesn't mean it's accurate.
Wow. That's cool. So you will be dropping stuff at Carlisle and the Nationals this year, but just not set up there?
Yep, just pre-sales only.
Pre-sales.
So, you know, the sooner you can let us know, the better. We'll usually leave Tuesday by noon. We're usually on the road. So,
okay.
But if you can let us know a week or two ahead, that'd be great. I'd be glad to. Freight has gotten really expensive, and especially on heavier stuff. So,
yeah.
If you know you're going to need it, plan accordingly and save yourself some money. So
yeah, bring it, and we
don't have to worry about UPS or FedEx.
Yeah.
prop doors open
Yeah.
or test theories. So, but yeah,
Yeah. And you are looking for some employee,
sure, we
some part time or part full
absolutely.
time.
I entertain more full time or part time. Just depends on what somebody can do.
Yeah.
We do a lot of a lot of welding, fabricating, things like that.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be that. Just good general shop help. Somebody that doesn't think they need to be on their phone all day. And,
Exactly.
somebody that's not afraid to dig in, get dirty, and learn something. So I'd love to have some more help. I got more work than I can handle, and
Well, I sure wished I was closer because I'd love to be in something like
yeah.
this.
I
But
doubt you're probably roots are too deep to pull up and move. So,
yeah.
but yeah, if anybody come see me, drop me a line, we'll talk. So.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you showing us the layout, and I appreciate your time. And like I say, we'll probably see you at Carlisle then.
We'll be there.
All right, see you,
All right,
buddy.
take care.